Hello everyone. Today we are solving equations and this is part 2. Equation with the unknown on both sides, the rearranging method. Let's start with the first example. So as you can see in that example we got two terms in x, 2x and 5x. So the way we're going to proceed is we're going to eliminate 2x, not the 5x. So before we do that, we're going to drop all the terms down and the 2x will go onto the opposite side. And when we goes there, we're going to change the sign from plus to minus. The next term that we're going to eliminate is going to be the 9. And 9 has got to go onto the other side because we're going to group it with a number. And the other terms are going to drop down. Equal sign drops down vertically. 27 drops down. 3x drops down. But the next has got to go onto the opposite side. That gives us 18 is equal to 3x. And 3 will now have to be removed because you will have to get x on its own. So we're going to drop down the other terms. X comes down, but 3 will have to go on the opposite side. So in order to get rid of this, we have to divide by 3. That's how it works. And we are left with 6 equals to x, or x equals to 6. So normally we get x onto the left-hand side to give the final answer. Now let's review the process again and we see how that worked out. First of all, we eliminated the 2x because it was the lower one. And then we eliminated the 9 because we have to group it with the other non-x term. What happens next is that we are going to get 27 minus 9 equals to 3x. We have to remove 3 as well, so x finally becomes on its own. So we have then 6 equals to x because you divide 18 by 3, you get 6 equals to x, and we have to put x on the left hand side, so we write x equals to 6. Okay, so these are the processes. Eliminate the lowest x term, then we move 9 onto the left hand side so that it goes to the non-x term. We cross multiply the 3 to remove the 3 from x, and finally we put x on the left hand side so that we give the answer with x as being equal to 6 in that case. Very important point to remember is that during the whole process, what we did was when we changed the side of one term, we also changed the sign. So when we had plus, the plus became a minus. And wherever we had times, that was followed by a division. Okay, so this is now going to help us work out some examples. Now in this example now we got 7x and 5x. What we're going to eliminate is the 5x. And how we're going to do that? It is because by moving the 5x onto the left hand side, all the other terms we're going to drop down. So 7x minus 18 equals to 22. So the 5x goes onto the left hand side and it becomes minus 5x. What happens next is that we are going to get 2x minus 18 equals 22. Now we're going to move the minus 18 onto the right hand side. So we have 2x equals to 18 plus 22. That gives us 30 on the right hand side, and on the left hand side we got 2x. We're going to remove the 2 by dividing the other side by 2. So we're going to get x equals to 30. So that 2 will just go below 30. So we're going to divide by 2 and then we're going to get 15x on the left-hand side. So that's one equation with a negative term. Here's another one. See if you can do that one. You can pause if you want to at this point. Okay, carrying on, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So of 6x, between 6x and minus 2x is the lower term, which we will be sending onto the left-hand side. However, all the other terms are going to stay put. So minus 2x goes onto the opposite side, and what do we write? Any guess? We're going to move minus 2x onto the left-hand side, and it becomes 2x in that case. Now, what happens next is that we're going to get combine these two, so 8x plus 2 equals 66. And what happens after that is we're going to get rid of the 2, which will go to the other side. So we're going to write 66 take away 2 is 8x. That gives us 64, which is equal to 8x. And what happens to 8? We're going to send it to the bottom over there. So that becomes 64 over 8 equals to x, or x equals to 8. So that's the answer. On to another pair of examples. In that case, we got brackets. So with brackets, what we do is we expand brackets. And the way we do that is we do 2x, 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 2 is 4, and the rest are going to stay put. So we're going to write 3x plus 1. Now, between these two terms in x, we got to remove the 2x, which will have to go to the opposite side, and the rest are going to stay put. So let's write the other terms first, and then we're going to move 2 onto the other side. So when we move 2 onto the other side, it becomes minus 2x. So now we got 3x minus 2x, and that gives us x. X plus 1, we move that 1 down, and we move the 4 down, that's 4 there. What happens now is we're going to remove the plus 1, send it to the left-hand side, which becomes minus 1, and the other terms are just going to stay where they are, or rather, we move them down. Now the answer is saying x equals to 3, 3 equals to x, or x equals to 3. Okay, next one, again involving brackets. So as you can see now, you should be able to work this out. So that gives you multiply into the brackets, gives us 2x minus 10, and onto the other side, that gives us 15x plus 3 times 1 is 3. So of these two, we got to get rid of one of the x's, so that's going to be 2x that will go, which goes to the right hand side, but the other terms stay put, so minus 10 here. So we got 15x plus 3. So the plus 2 goes to the left hand side, and it becomes minus 2x. Let's simplify that equation. We're going to get minus 10 here, and that gives us 13x plus 3. Now that plus 3 will go onto the left hand side, okay, and it becomes minus 3. So we can already write minus 3 if we want to at this point, minus 3. And what we got to do next is write the other terms, so drop them down, minus 10, and that gives us 13x. So on the left hand side, we're going to get negative 13 equals to 13x. So what happens with that 13? We send this down here. So this is negative 13 over 13 equals to x. This is minus 1 equals to x, or x equals to negative 1. Finally, now this one involves fractions. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to put brackets around 2x plus 1 just to show that this is together, and the 3 we're going to multiply across. That's what we call cross multiplication to x minus 1. What happens now is we're going to get 3 bracket x minus 1 on the right hand side, and the numerator here we just carry it forward. Now we got another expansion to do now, so that's going to be 3 times x, which is 3x, 3 minus 1 minus 3. 3 times minus 1 is minus 3. And then we copy down 2x plus 1. Again, we got to compare the two x terms, that's 2x and 3x. And if you remember, we said that the 2x, the lower one will go, which means that the lower one needs to go to the other side, and everything else gets transferred down. So 3x minus 3, we park it on the right to make room for the 2x. Now, again, you will remember that we have to put a negative sign because the 2x goes to the opposite side, the sign changes. Then we're going to have 3x minus 2x is x. Then we have minus 3 on the right hand side, and on the left hand side we carry that forward. And then the 9, now we've got to move minus 3 to the left hand side, so x is on its own, and when minus 3 goes to the left, so it becomes plus 3, and then we drop 1 down, and what happens is that we get x equals to 4, or rather 4 is equal to x, and then we just transfer the x to the left. Here we go, that's done. The next one looks slightly more complicated, but it shouldn't be, because again we are going to have to get rid of that 5. Here, the way we do it is we're going to multiply by 5 throughout. What that means is each term will need to be multiplied by 5. Okay, so we're going to multiply that by 5 here, multiply by 5, multiply by 5, and multiply by 5. So that leads us to a cancellation of the 5 here. That's precisely why we multiply by 5. And then we get 3x plus 15 equals to 35 minus 10x. When we compare the x terms here, so minus 10x is the lower one, which means that this one has got to move to the left, and everything will be dropped down. Okay, so 3x drops down, plus 15 goes down, 35 also goes down. So minus x changes side, and now it has become, guess what? It becomes plus 10x. Our equation now changes to, when we combine these two, we can get 13x plus 15 equals 35. And by now, you will have understood that plus 15 has to change side. And when it changes side, it becomes negative 15 on that side. And the rest will have to come down as they are because they are spectators. They don't do anything. We just copy them down. Now, what we're going to get is 13x equals to 35 minus 15, that's 20. So that 13 also needs to go to change place. So we're going to get x equals to 20 minus 13. Okay, so what we have seen in this session, you will see that we have seen how we can swap terms, swap position of terms. This is what we call the rearranging method, and you will need to change sign when you do these operations, and just follow the process. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to um, come back to visit us again, and say goodbye to you. Bye bye. Thank you.